Tip, a fantasy football podcast. We are your hosts. We are too husky for Sandusky. We got Ryan the Tagless Haynes. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mac. I'm doing well.
Weren't expecting that, were you? Regan.
No, I wasn't.
Regan, how are you?
That was good till I got Honor Palmer up in my nose.
Perfect timing. Today is July 20th, 2021. We are 51 days away from the kickoff to the season. 7 weeks and 2 days, guys. How excited are you?
Really excited.
Very excited.
Oh, here we go. We're going to edit that out later.
No, we're not.
6 to midnight, boys.
What is the pinnacle of excitement?
Oh, you want like a scale?
Yeah.
On a scale of the Jets' record in the NFL and the Bucs going 17-0, how excited are you?
I would say I hate those.
That's a terrible
Bucs
scale.
going 17-0.
You're
100%. Yeah.
You could do that. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. You put me on the spot there. If you haven't tuned out already, go ahead and if you are watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe to us. Set the bell, set the reminder. We are also on Apple, Spotify, Google, and Amazon. You want to give us a follow, subscribe there, download. You can rate us on Apple, 5-star review if you would. Really help us out. And as always, share our tips with your friends and family. We really appreciate it, guys. We have fun doing this, and if we can get more popular because of you guys, we'd really appreciate it. Today we're going to continue on around the league with our last breakdown of the entire league, the NFC South. Before that, though, we kind of got a big brief here, Ryan, huh? So why don't you start us out here? Soundboard's not working, so go right ahead.
Sounds good. It only has to be as big as you want it to be, big guy.
Manifest it.
Yeah, exactly. And with that said, I will say, and we'll talk about this the most, I think, and then we can see how much time we have left. But obviously, the big news of the day today is that reports from Rams training camp are that Cam Akers tore his Achilles. And will be out for the entire season. So obviously, a guy who was working his way up the rankings. A lot of people were big on him this year. Mac, what are your thoughts?
It's sad, man. I mean, I thought people were going to be overdrafting him, but it sucks. He has a lot of promise, and it sucks when you're working so hard during the off season like he was, and just how excited if you hear interviews. I know a lot of CBS guys have reported with him and had interviews, and he just sound really excited to get going. And then this happens. So I feel bad for him. I know, Regan, you're pretty heartbroken about it, huh?
So heartbroken that I dropped him in my keeper league last year, and the person that picked him up is now running backless.
Yeah.
And I also have his backup on my team, Darrell Henderson. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Darrell Henderson's stock just rose so much. So much.
I was talking to Dynasty Brit on Twitter. Who do you think is going to come in to help the Rams backfield here? He was thinking AP. And I'm like, he's 36 years old. I'm like, I think they better off going with Le'Veon Bell. You guys see anybody that they might want to pick up to bring in?
There was a report shortly after from Sleeper, and who knows? I mean, they could just be blowing smoke, but it said that they're really comfortable with going with Henderson and going with some of the other guys that are part of the team. Because it's slim pickings right now. Like you said, Mac, it's AP, Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley. Gurley's not going back to the Rams. That's for damn sure.
They were talking all about it on the Twitter sphere. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't see that happening either.
Yeah, it seems like people forget how ugly that divorce was. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Rams owed him like 8 paychecks or something after like 6 months later or a year later, and they just weren't paying him his paychecks or something. Do you guys remember that?
Did
No.
not know that.
Look it up. Yeah, it was a big thing. Like he was like, "Yo, it's been a year and I haven't seen any paychecks. What's going on?"
Like, how do you wait that long?
I don't
Right.
know.
He has
But
millions of dollars.
it was crazy. So yeah, he's not going back, and I do think that Darrell Henderson can handle the workload. I don't really know much about anybody else past him, but now's the time to find out a little bit more about those guys.
Definitely got to
true.
add somebody, but who it is and is the name that big? I doubt it.
I think this offense is going to be so much more dynamic this year that they're going to be in the red zone often, with or without like a dynamic running back, where Darrell Henderson's going to be able to get plenty of carries inside the 10-yard line. What do you guys think?
He produced pretty much the same numbers, so overall in the season. Cam Akers took a while to get started, so he's definitely a serviceable back. But yeah, I think they just need to bring somebody else in, kind of to boost up competition in the backfield and just to help the team out.
Maybe more of a pass catcher.
And maybe that's where Love Bell comes in. Maybe, but
maybe he's only 29, so I know he took that year off and he didn't look good past couple of years. So, but we'll see. What else we got?
All right. Well, other big news coming out from the league. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this. So ESPN announces that Peyton and Eli Manning are going to be calling an alternative telecast for Monday Night Football games beginning this year and then going through the 2023 season. So they're considering it like a mega cast. It's like basically they're going to be remote and on Zoom, but something a little bit better than Zoom. And it's going to be available for 10 games. And they'll have guest appearances from celebrities and other athletes and be commenting on the game. So just, you guys can be tuning into this, or are you just sticking with the regular telecast?
Well, Monday Night Football pregame show and announcers have been pretty weak lately, so commentators. So yeah, I'm going to check it out.
If it has any comedic value to where they're like their commercials, I'm in.
They were pretty funny on SNL too, so
right.
better than Brady. You were probably going there, Ryan. Sorry, to cut you off there, but
no, I could see this being really entertaining. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, if you look at like the last few years, right? Like they've been really reaching for like anything to get more people into Monday Night Football. Remember like Boogers, giant mobile blocking like seats and nobody could see, and they've been replacing hosts every 3 or 4 years, so they're definitely reaching for something. And I think maybe they're onto something here. Who knows? And all right, so my last thing that I wanted to touch on real quick, Fantasy Pros released team offensive line rankings for 2021. Just tell me if you think there should be any changes or if you have any comments. But bottom 5. Panthers last, Steelers 31st, Bears 30th, Jaguars 29th, Raiders 28th. This is important information to have when you go into your fantasy draft. So any surprises there? Anybody else you throw in there? What do you guys think?
I'm surprised Raiders aren't last after trading everybody away and cutting people. But Raiders, they should be last. I don't know. Panthers, I think, are getting a bad rep, but Christian McCaffrey will make them look good anyway. Top 5, Browns should be in there. I don't see why the Patriots are in the top 5. I really don't.
He hasn't read that yet.
Oh
I do.
God,
I haven't read that yet, but I will real quick. All right, so I'll do it backwards. A little suspense here. So number 5 was the Colts. Number 4 was the Patriots, 3 49ers, 2 Ravens, and the number 1 ranked projected offensive line is the New Orleans Saints. So I was very surprised that the Browns weren't in there. I think they could have a top 3 offensive line, if not the best offensive line in football. The Patriots, like I could see why they're fourth. I don't know if they're at the end of the season. You're looking back at this offensive line and saying that they're a top 5 offensive line, but certainly I think top 10.
Yeah. And the Saints are first. Maybe we'll see that a little bit today in the breakdown, but it's a little surprising. Good news for whatever quarterback tries to step in. Saying.
And Michael Thomas.
Ooh, Alvin Kamara.
All right, that's it. How was that, Mac? Was that brief the right size for you? Is that the right size package?
So that's why it's so big.
It was pretty filling, man. I enjoyed it.
Good choice of words.
That's all I can ask for.
Yeah. Anything else that
No.
you want to touch on?
Oh yeah, real quick. So next week we're going to be getting into our rankings. So we're going to be starting off with the quarterbacks. Our good friend Ryan Casperson is he is in the midst of creating a website for us to post those rankings. So hopefully we'll be able to get those to you guys before your drafts, certainly before the season starts. So just be on the lookout for that.
Great. Yeah, we'll get that all set. It's in the works, so hopefully we can get that to you guys soon before drafting starts. We mentioned last week something about Ryan being a bird killer. We had a little pre-talk
That's
before.
true. Yeah, PETA's going to be like all over me.
Oh, yeah, they're coming after us. Us and our 50 subscribers on YouTube. Thanks, guys, for subscribing to us. Share, like. Really appreciate it. So I have a little game I want to play. All right.
Oh,
How
God.
many bird mascots are in the NFL? Producer, you could join in here too.
Bird mascots. Eagles.
All right. Let's think about this.
Oh,
Is there
come on.
a timer on this? What's the timer?
Yes, there is a timer. Let's go. Quick.
All right, here we go. I'm going to say 8, just off the top of my head.
5.
Nope. No, there you go, Regan.
I guess 5 as well.
Somebody's searching things here.
I just
So there's 5 of them. All right. So a little quiz. All right. Got riddles, little questions for you. All right. If I were a real bird, what should my name be? You guys aren't gonna get any of these, by the way.
Is this like a joke or is this real life?
Kind of. Osprey, Seahawks. Seahawks are not a real bird. They're a whole type of bird.
Damn it.
Seahawks, but osprey is what they're based off of.
Thought you would be more of a turkey vulture.
Me personally? Okay. All right. This bird likes to cover itself in ants as a defense mechanism against lice.
Ooh.
Chickens?
Not the Ravens. No, the birds of the NFL.
Cardinals.
The Cardinals, yeah.
That was going to be
I've
my
never
guess.
No, was it? Okay. Sorry, Kyle. I'll keep on. I'll let you answer. All right.
It's okay.
Maybe you know this one. What do you call a group of ravens?
Ooh. Do I know this?
Second overall.
I'm going to go with herd.
No. Unkindness or treachery. I guess that's why their defense is so mean. Some fearsome names there. All right.
Herd. I like that though.
Herd of the bird.
Regan. Benjamin Franklin wanted a turkey over me. Who am I?
I know this one.
Oh, come on. This is like...
This is easy.
I thought it was Cardinal, but...
No. Ben Franklin.
National bird.
Oh, the eagle, but...
Yeah, there we go.
That's not a bald eagle, is it? I guess it is.
They had the bald eagle fly down. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different eagles, so... Anyway.
That
How
was too
fast can
easy for it.
Yeah, that was. How fast can a falcon fly? Last one here.
38 miles an hour.
38
28
miles per hour.
hour.
28 miles per hour. Wow. Stop Googling it.
I'm
What
not
if they're
Googling
dropping?
anything. I'm going 55.
Yeah.
55.
High.
Higher
What
than
do
that,
they do that like that skydive shit? That's like 60 miles an hour.
Yeah. I'd say a bit more. 242 miles per hour.
Oh,
Ah.
Or
geez.
as fast as Mike Vick in his prime.
Ooh. You dropped didn't work. I heard you click.
Come on.
What a loser.
Dang it. Anyway, moving on. That's a little fun fact because Ryan is obsessed with birds lately, and
I
is
did
a serial
everything
bird
I was
killer.
supposed to do legally, so I will say that, and that's where I'll leave it.
Called the bird sanctuary, try to get him to save the bird. Yeah.
Murderer.
Yeah.
This guy.
Did you want to fill him in on the whole story, Ryan, or are we just
No, just keep them guessing.
All right, what team are we doing first here?
Some weird comments coming after that one.
So we have
Shepherds we shall be, for thee, my lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand, our feet may swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow a river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
What?
Fantastic movie. That is a great movie.
it's a cult classic. A lot of people don't like it. I don't get it, but Regan has not seen the Boondock Saints apparently. No? Oh my God, that's your homework
That's
for
what
the
that's
weekend.
from? Oh, shit.
The Saints. Yeah. Oh God.
What's
All
the
right.
cop's name? The actor?
What one?
The
cop?
cop with like the grin who wears the dress or whatever.
William Dafoe. No,
William
Schneider.
Dafoe. Oh man, that guy, he's fantastic, I will say.
He's a great actor.
Listen, if I knew you were gonna go with the whole bird game, I would have started off with the Falcons here, but
Nah.
we'll stick to the Saints. We'll break off the birds for a little bit.
All right. I wanted to
Hell,
keep
you
the
hate
people
'em.
wanting more. we know how much you hate birds.
Gotta change the name to Bird Talk or some shit. All right, here we go. New Orleans Saints, bye week 6 this year. Last year, their record was 12-4, first in the division. A lot of big changes in the offseason here. So, notables for fantasy, Alvin Kamara, and one of these two guys, Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, and Michael Thomas, or both if you think that's going to happen. So basically, the story for the Saints this offseason were their departures. So this is the most cap-strapped team going into the offseason. Obviously, they weren't going to make a lot of additions, so they lose a lot of key offensive weapons. So I'll start with Mark Ingram, Emmanuel Sanders, Jared Cook, and then obviously the big one is Drew Brees. So you have cornerstone franchise quarterback for what, guys? 15, 16 years? And he's not there.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think we all know how that feels. At least, Regan and I do. It's a sucky feeling. It's not fun, but it's something that the Saints are going through right now. So there are some pros to the Saints team here. So they bring back most of their starters from a top 5 defense. This is defense that was top 5 across the board. Points against, rushing yards against, passing yards against, total yards. You name it, they were top 5. According to Fantasy Pros, they have the number 1 ranked offensive line, which we already touched on. So they have all 5 starters returning from last year, which is going to be huge for either of these quarterbacks that are going to be jumping into the situation. And then this quarterback competition between Winston and Hill, it could have some serious implications. I just want to remind you guys that Jameis Winston in 2019 threw for over 5,000 yards, 30 and 33 touchdowns. Obviously, I know he turned over the ball a lot. I know he set some records that way. But quite frankly,
times, Ryan? How many
30 interceptions.
Yeah.
30 or 31. First quarterback to have a 30-30 season.
Yes.
But on it, it doesn't matter for fantasy. If this is going to be the starter, I mean, these other players are going to be they're going to be impactful. So, Regan, real quick, who do you want to take over the reins here, quarterback?
Well, I just want to establish that that's negative 60 points for Jameis Winston with 30 interceptions. That being said, I want Taysom Hill. I think it would be obviously the funnest to watch. Jameis Winston with the yards, but Taysom Hill just with the unorthodox play would be interesting to see. It's really tough. I lean the Taysom Hill way though.
All right, fair enough. Mac?
Who do I want or who do I think is going to?
What do you think? And then who do you
Who do
want?
I
Maybe
think?
a little bit of both. Yeah.
No, all right. So no, I would. It's both different. So Taysom Hill, I think will get it. All right. They gave him the $140 million contract over 4 years, signing bonuses, incentives, some funny money in there. But they had both Jameis and Taysom Hill last year when Breeze went down, and they went with Hill. They had the chance to put Jameis in. They probably didn't like him turning the ball over, and they didn't trust him. I mean, in real football, they want to win. Sean Payton doesn't like turning the ball over. So they're saying there's a competition. I'm betting on Hill. I would bet on him. But I would rather Winston because if Hill's in, Kamara's value is going to go down. All right, number one running back last year. And the 4 games that Taysom started, Kamara really suffered there in his fantasy value. It started picking up towards the end because they were probably obviously like, hey, you got to use our best player or second best player, depending how you look at it. So, yeah, I'm betting on Hill, but if we want Kamara to do what Kamara does, you're going to want Winston, in my opinion.
That is a perfect segue into my next point.
Ooh.
So, the Saints running back room. Alvin Kamara, 2020 stats, 932 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, 83 receptions, 756 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Now, obviously, he had one game where he had 6 rushing touchdowns, so that is a big outlier. But even taking that out, 10 rushing touchdowns and 5 receiving touchdowns is nothing to laugh about.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And he put up all those stats with what you said, Mac, in 4 games with Taysom Hill. In 3 of those, he had 10 targets in total. 6 targets in total in those 3 games. And then he had 10 targets in the 4th game. So like you said, the last game there, they started kind of utilizing him a little bit more. But if that's what he's going to be doing, like he gets most of his points in the passing game, man. So, and in the red zone. So if he's going to be inconsistent because Hill's going to be inconsistent and they're not going to be using him as much, that it's risky. So you have to keep an eye on what's going to happen because it's really going to affect how you're going to want to be drafting in the first half of the first round come draft time. I mean, the good thing about Kamara is that even with Hill starting, the only other running back that's going to compete with him or take carries away from him is Latavius Murray. And honestly, at this point in his career, I just don't see that happening all that often. So the volume's still going to be there for Kamara. He's still going to be on the field. He's still going to have a high snap percentage. But, man, I would just be wary because, he is a PPR machine. And if he's not going to be used that way, it's going to be problematic for him. Now, somebody who I don't think it'll really affect all that much, when you dive into the wide receiver room and you're looking at Michael Thomas, guys, listen, I have the number 1 pick in our redraft league. So I have that second round, third round turn. If you let me get Christian McCaffrey and Michael Thomas, it's game over. I don't even care if it's Hill. I don't care if it's Winston. You give me those 2 guys, and that's all I'll need. His biggest competitor right now for receptions outside of Kamara, and we just touched upon that with Hill, are Traquan Smith and Adam Troutman. And that's it. That's it. And this is a guy who, with other weapons on this offense from 2017 to 2019, had anywhere between 147 and 185 targets. And that's with Emmanuel Sanders. That's with, who did they have before that? They had a pretty solid number 2. I can't think of him right now, but if you guys think of him, let me know. But with Taysom Hill starting, here's his stat line. So in 4 games with Taysom Hill, 9 receptions, 104 yards, 6 receptions, 50 yards, 9 receptions, 105 yards, 8 receptions, 85 yards, and 100% catch rate, 8 targets, 8 receptions. So whoever the quarterback is, he's going to get used. I had somebody tell us in one of our dynasty leagues, and I respect this person a lot. He is a fantastic fantasy football player, and he knows what he's talking about. But when I had brought up how high I was on Michael Thomas, he made the point that Jameis Winston does not pass to the slot. Well, guess what? If Jameis Winston is starting and Michael Thomas is running in the slot, guess who's passing the ball to the slot? Jameis Winston. Because who else is he going to throw the ball to? Adam Troutman? Like, come on, guys. Come on. He's targeting Thomas. The guy's still going to put up, I would say, at least 140 targets, especially with the extra game. And, last year was his only real year where he had any kind of injury concern. So we'll see what happens with that. But Regan, are you letting this guy get to me in the second round?
I have like 7th pick. And honestly, it determines who's taking on that turn in the early second round. But yeah, as much as I don't want you to get him, you might get him. I love the player. I just think the value is a little high. I totally agree with you on he's going to be the only guy getting catches and so on. But Drew Brees to Taysom Hill, it's not a sure thing that he should be a second round pick in my eyes. I'd take him 3rd round, no problem.
Guys,
Ryan,
16 games in 2019, 149 receptions, 1,725 yards. Mac, go ahead.
I'm at the fifth spot. I'm going to go top running back. And if Michael Thomas is there, his ADP right now is at 28th right now. So I'm at the 2.8. No, he's not getting to you. If he's there, I'm taking him. But
we'll screw both of you. I'm taking him now.
But we're going to get into it later. If Calvin Ridley's there, then I have a tough decision. Because A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, then Michael Thomas is what they're going as. So the only one I would take over Michael Thomas would be Calvin Ridley. But we'll get into that later.
I'll tell you what, if at 212 I can get either Calvin Ridley or Michael Thomas, I think I'll just auto draft for the rest of the draft. I'll go get some food, hit up the buffet, play some cornhole. I'll have my wife start picking from there. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Probably do better. Thank you, producer. Ted Ginn Jr. was number 2.
Ted Ginn. Oh, just announced his retirement this week. That was some news we missed.
Kyle the clutch.
Ooh. I remember his great old Miami days. Oh, that was great.
I don't remember that.
He did more special
great
stuff. It was great.
We're really throwing the term "great" out there pretty loosely nowadays.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's move this along a bit.
All right. Yeah. Last thing, Adam Troutman. He's right now ranked as tight end 23 on Fantasy Pros. I do think that with either quarterback, he's going to be utilized as a check down option. I'm thinking he's a top 12 guy, and I'm saying that, Matt, because I see your comment, and I'm one step ahead of you. Last year, tight end 12 was Tyler Higbee with 44 receptions, 521 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I think Troutman can match that.
Possibly, unless they're just going to keep throwing Michael Thomas and Kamara. Like I don't know. I don't trust it. So I'm upset. I let you grab him. I think it was you in our Dynasty League, right? And I didn't grab him and drop somebody for him because I think the potential's there. I just don't think this year. It's only his second year. I don't think they love him as a run blocker. They talk about how he's on the field as a run blocker. You watch his highlight reels. There's not much, but the splashes he gets is one catch for 19 yards against the Falcons, 3 for 9 yards in the second meeting with them. The Vikings, these are all weak defenses. Vikings, 45 yards off 2 catches. Tampa, all right, he got his one and only touchdown, 39 yards, 3 catches. I don't know. I think he's more of a run blocking tight end right now. So, but I'd say probably next year. Don't hold me to it though. But hopefully he won't flounder. But if he does have a good season, it's probably going to be a fluke.
Where's the crickets drop? Where's the crickets drop?
I'm not dropping the crickets. I had more.
Good. Oh my God.
Wow.
All right, that's it.
I think he will be a steady. I think he will be a steady stream in option.
Yeah, I got it.
There it is.
I kill myself.
There it is.
All right.
Oh, stream trout. I hate your face.
Oh
Hey.
my God.
I love you, Joe.
That's not nice. Oh, what do you? All right, you call your shot. How's Adam Troutman going to do then?
Me, tight ends way too. I'm all out.
Regan does not give a shit. He's like, I don't care about Adam Troutman. Let's move on.
Not even a little bit. Jared Cook didn't do well there. I don't think this guy, Troutman's going to come in and do any better than he does.
He did do well. I don't know this. Not last year, but
correct. Yeah, that's
usually. But with Drew Brees, again, they target the tight ends. They get like 8 touchdowns to the tight end position usually. So he could. I'm saying the potential's there. I just don't think it's this year. I want to see what it looks like without Drew Brees before I say that.
It depends on how you're measuring tight ends and whether or not they're doing well or not. Because I think you could look at the majority of tight ends and be like, yeah, they're underwhelming or underachieving or whatever.
I'll have to look up the stat, but they do well at the tight end position. It's not solely one tight end, but the potential is there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, sure.
Should we move on, or what was that, Regan?
No, I was going to say Ryan has a paperweight on his team in his dynasty. So
that's what you do. That's what you do in dynasty. You shoot your shot, see how they come out, man.
Deep in the stream.
All right. Let's move on.
Macy agrees.
Carolina Panthers. All right, by week 13, the record was 5-11 last year, 3rd in the division. Sorry if I'm a little loud right there. Getting all excited for this team. Christian McCaffrey. Can you believe this guy? He ranked 53rd in running backs last year. What an idiot. Then we got DJ Moore ranked 23rd. Robbie Anderson 19. Terrence Marshall, their rookie, and Sam Darnold, not even worth mentioning.
You just
Dan Arnold, not even worth mentioning his ranking. Excuse me, I didn't finish my sentence there.
Thanks.
Then Dan Arnold, tight end that came over from the Cardinals, ranked 23rd. So, all right, they had a stretch of bad luck losing Christian McCaffrey. All right, but he had 3 games last year. He had a high ankle sprain, shoulder injury, thigh injury. Really hurt their offense. They paid him $64 million on a 4-year contract, so they want to really protect their investment there. All right, but when they lost him, overall they ranked 21st in rush yards. All right, in rush attempts. All right, their overall offense ranked 21st as well, so it's not good, man. They're on the bottom half of the league. 12th in rushing touchdowns, though, so that saved Mike Davis' value a bit when he came in. All right, the passing wasn't any better. 17th in yards, 25th in touchdowns, and 28th in passing touchdowns, all right? 15th in red zone scoring, though. So Joey Sly there for you, Ryan. If you want that kicker, they can't score. They can't get in the end zone. They're going to be kicking field goals.
That just happened.
I'm so glad I listened to this podcast so I can
I bet you did.
my kicker info.
You don't want a deep dive on the kicker here?
What a
Well, at least I know who their kicker is now, I guess.
They're just tips, man. That's just little tips there. If you still have a kicker like we do, for some reason.
Micro tip.
Micro. The chicken tip. Inside joke. Anyway, so they're obviously needing to boost their offensive production here. So why not trade for a secret weapon when Sam Darnold, all right, QB mono, all right? I'm sorry, QB1, excuse me, for the Panthers, my bad. Last year he had mono. Okay, all right, anyway, or that was the year before. All right, trading away their 2nd, 4th, and 6th pick. Passing on QB in the draft here, all right? 8th overall. They could have taken Justin Fields there. Regan, why didn't they do that?
They're idiots.
Yeah, they are. All right.
Sam Darnold over
Sam
Justin
Darnold.
Fields?
And no competition for him. So they picked up his 5th-year option too. So it's going to be a fun experiment, all right? Did Adam Gase ruin him, or will he have like a Tanaissance?
I was going to
like
say
Ryan
like
Tannehill and come out and do better. I don't think he will. Spoiler alert. So besides Darnold, they signed a lot of defense players, O-line players. All right, like you said, they're ranked pretty low in their O-line production. So they're addressing, especially in the trenches, all right, on both sides. They took J.C. Horn, cornerback, with their 8th overall pick. Terrence Marshall, wide receiver. Chuba Hubbard, in the 4th round. He's a backup running back for Christian McCaffrey. I called it back in episode 2, 3. Most productive rookies, or most impact players, excuse me. And I thought Chuba Hubbard would, but he was drafted by them. So the only way he's going to be of any value is if McCaffrey goes down. And I do not wish that to happen. I would rather be wrong for the rare occurrence that would happen. So let's start with the obvious best option here, McCaffrey. All right, it's mentioned in interviews that he believes that he's been training too hard, not allowing his body to recover. All right, not going to spend much time on him. But Regan, are you concerned with his injury history from last year? Or is he your number one, not even going to get cute, not even going to think about it?
He's my number one, absolutely. I do get nervous of the injury, though, and, having a line rank 32. He's going to get hit in the backfield often. It's scary, It's tough when that's your first pick.
Yeah. All right, so he played the first 2 games, and he had so in his 3 games, he had 5 rushing touchdowns. He scored 28 points, 24 points, and then 37 when he came back in for week 9. All right, he teased me. So in Ryan's league here, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I traded Chris Carson, Robbie Anderson, and another player for Christian McCaffrey. And because the guy is desperate for a win, I was like, you can have this running back and this receiver. You need the help. I'll take Christian McCaffrey and bet on him coming back. So when he came back, got me 37 points that week. I was all excited. I'm like, this is going to win me the league.
And then
nope, they kept him out. All right. Year before, he had 2 games under 20 points with 7 and 17. He had 8 over 30 points per game. His points per game was over 22, so a little over 22. So it's pretty good. Not much to think about. Wide receiver core, they're really solid options, all right, but they did struggle scoring. All right, I already went over their offensive rankings, 28th, 29th, passing touchdowns and touchdowns in general. All right, so I don't know why they addressed it with Sam Darnold, but they did. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't have faith in him when they lost McCaffrey, so hopefully they do better this year, but the scoring needs to go up, all right? So Robbie Anderson had 125 targets with 96 receptions, a little over 1,100 yards. If he scores a couple more TDs, he could get into the top 12 wide receivers, all right? I don't have the touchdowns listed. I think he had 3 touchdowns. If you can look that up for me, Ryan. And he was ranked in the 20s. He was doing great in the first half, having 100-yard games. 4 out of the first 5 were 100-yard games, all right? He averaged 7 receptions, so they were targeting him. Then when Teddy Bridgewater was falling off, he was a good streaming option at the beginning too. Then they really struggled, all right? With DJ Moore, with Curtis Samuel gone, I believe he'll get more opportunities. He's still at 119 targets, all right? So when Christian McCaffrey comes back, those targets are probably going to go down. But I also believe that they're going to bring the defense up for Christian McCaffrey and have wide receiver opportunity. They just need the quarterback to be able to get it to him. So it really depends if you have faith in Sam Darnold getting these guys the ball. He only had 66 receptions, 1,200 yards. Ryan, I'll ask you, do you think that with Samuel gone and his 97 targets and his running game ability, do you think it's going to benefit Robbie or more?
I like what you did there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Also, Robbie Anderson did in fact have 3 touchdowns last year,
3
Max.
touchdowns.
So nice. Yeah, you know what, man? I don't know. I really call me kitty cat.
I'll make it
I
perfect.
think.
Oh God.
Oh, come on, guys! Wedding Crashers is fantastic.
Yes.
Got it.
We got some good movie stuff going on tonight. I honestly don't see a big difference between either of those guys. Those are a lot of targets, especially Anderson's 125 targets. And here's why. So 142 targets for McCaffrey in 2019, Last year between Davis and McCaffrey, there were 89 targets to the backfield or out of the backfield to the running back. So, 53 target differential for those who, can't do math. So I'm thinking like 40 to 50% of Samuel's targets go to McCaffrey. And I think the remaining targets go to Terrace Marshall. Like, I think that guy is going to get a lot of opportunities as well. So I actually foresee Anderson's targets going down pretty significantly. If I still think he might reach the 100 mark, but I don't think 125. And, 66 receptions for more out of 119 targets. That is like, they were definitely forcing him the ball and airing the ball out a little bit more than they should have been. So I think his stats kind of will stay kind of similar around there, maybe 70, 75 receptions. And he's a big playmaker, so he gets a lot of yardage and he makes big plays. So like you were saying, Mac, with McCaffrey, if he's bringing up the defense, it gives DJ Moore some more room to run.
Well, let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. All right. So real quick, I need to put a note in this at the top, but we rank these guys off a PPR format. All right. So if you guys are looking up, fact checking us, that's what we're looking at. All right. So Robbie's ADP right now is at 89. All right. So that's behind Deebo Samuel, but ahead of Brandon Cooks. He's a decent flex play. All right. Take him 7th or 8th round. See what you got with him. All right. You already have your starters set. You could do worse for a flex play. All right. Regan, you gonna take Deebo Samuel or Brandon Cooks over Robbie? Injury prone Deebo Samuel.
Definitely not Deebo. I'm away.
Yeah.
I'm all the way away from Deebo.
Yeah.
I like Cook's value in, what was that 12th round or something like that. I like Robbie though.
9th round for him.
9th round. I'm sorry.
He's moving up.
Yeah, because you guys keep talking about him.
Because I keep
Jesus.
talking. Yeah.
Do you guys have any thought, like with Robbie and Sam Darnold having a little bit of knowledge of each other? Do you think that plays in at all? Just from their days.
I mean, they are a little familiar with the Jets, but it really wasn't much production there either, so I don't put too much stock in it. But I believe with the targets that they were using last year, they signed them for a reason. I believe that they're trying to get him the ball. So they see something in him. Maybe that's why they brought Sam Darnold in, because he did make some nice deep throws to him, make some nice connections. But yeah, I'm not going to put too much stock in it. I'm putting stock in how the coaching staff wanted to target him. That's my whole point with that. All right, DJ Moore, he's at the 48th. All right, so he's between Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and Adam Thielen. I think I'd rather take all those guys, honestly. Better offense with the Rams, especially with Akers out now. These receivers, Woods with the running game too. I don't know, Thielen, we talked about him last week. Really high on the touchdowns. They're going to regress, but he's still a productive receiver. I think maybe I'll take DJ Moore over Thielen, but I'm taking Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods over DJ Moore. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that or no. How about you, Ryan?
I would agree with you. I would have those two guys over DJ Moore for sure. I think I agree with you across the board. I think I'd take DJ Moore over Thielen too.
You agree, Regan? Can't hear you. Anyway.
I muted myself.
There we go. Okay. What were you saying?
No, I like Kupp, Woods, and Thielen over Moore.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Thanks.
I don't know, that crickets one's queued up. Anyway.
I honestly got a leg cramp halfway through your last question for me. And I'm just trying, I don't know if you guys saw me sliding down in my chair.
Jesus Christ.
But I'm like, what are they talking about? My leg kills.
How are you hurting yourself in a podcast? We're just
I haven't
talking,
drank a lot of
dude.
water. I've been doing a lot of work around the house. You guys know.
For you guys that are just listening to us and not watching us, we're very active in our podcast. If you can't tell, we're
just running the place.
Some squats, some hip thrusts. It's just we try to stay active for you guys.
It was bad, guys. Not a
bad timing. So anyway, the thing that's really holding us up with this offense, all right, Sam Darnold. All right. I've already said a lot on him. He's been disappointment under Adam Gase, who, fun fact, he's an offensive coordinator at a high school now. So fallen far from grace.
Mac, you're pretty close to that position too, aren't you?
I never coached in the NFL, though.
Oh, that's we're talking about now.
DC
Well, good for you.
coordinator. Jeez, yeah. I don't think I'd be better than Adam Gase, honestly. But I just never would have hired him after they saw what he did in Miami. I don't get it. Anyway, I believe he's beyond repair, Sam Darnold, that is. All right. I think they made a mistake not going for a QB in the draft, and they picked up his fifth-year option. All right. He had 9 touchdowns last year, ranked 31st. He only thrown for 3,000 yards once out of his last 3 seasons since we started. Just don't draft him. I don't know why I have to say this. Don't even do a last pick draft on him. Maybe you're like, oh, this is my secret weapon. He's going to come out and light it up. No. Yes, he has the easy button. Christian McCaffrey, dump it off to him. Just wait and see. All right. But if these guys are going to have to have any success like they did last year as your wide receiver 3 or flex during bye weeks and stuff, floor running back 2, he needs to be at a Teddy Bridgewater level, who was 19th last year. All right. So I'll put the over under Sam Darnold 22.5 ranking at quarterback. Over or under? Over, like better?
Better. Yeah, I would say he
So-
is better than 22 only because of what you just said, where he has a couple of easy buttons. He has McCaffrey and he has DJ Moore.
And there's no ghost on the field, right?
There's no ghost as far as we know.
Oh, that's just what he said versus the
I
Patriots.
know.
I love that. I don't know. He does. He like for the Jets. What do you have? Like Jamison Crowder. That's pretty much all he had. And now you're looking at a lot better weapons. That being said, I just don't think he's good. I'm gonna say under.
All right. I will say that he won't even finish the season, and he will be probably around 30 as well.
So that would be under.
That would
2-1. Screw you, Ryan.
over.
Sorry.
25. No, I hope he finished the season because I want these guys to do well. So I don't know what their backup plan is. All right, let's move on to. That's a long one. All right, there we go.
Alrighty then. All right, guys, we're moving on to the champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bye week this year is 9. Record last year 11-5. Second in the division, finished first overall in the entire NFL. Good for you, Tom. Anyways, Tom Brady, he finished 7th last year. Ronald Jones 20th. Leonard Fournette 35. Mike Evans 11th overall. Chris Godwin 31, which nobody was happy about. Antonio Brown and then Gronk ended up finishing at 10, which is a surprise to me. But we all know how those tight end rankings really are. Key additions really are only Giovanni Bernard. Really not much to talk about. So obviously we saw their incredible domination against the Chiefs last year. Kind of a piss poor Super Bowl compared. Tom Brady's either one-sided or it's a nail biter, and the kicker usually wins it for you.
I loved it, actually.
No, me too. It was a crazy season. I think we were all just happy to have some football last year.
Very true.
So of course, coming to the end of Brady's career and perhaps Bruce Arians, they restructured deals, moved money around, and kept everyone together for the most part, which is just an eye-opener saying, now's the time for this team. They franchise tagged Chris Godwin. He's banking on himself next year when the salary cap goes up, for him to have a good year this year and make some more money next year. Giovanni Bernard, they signed to a 1-year deal. Signed left tackle Devon Smith for 2 years. Resigned like I said, they re-signed a lot of people. So Gronk and Antonio Brown to a 1-year deal, and they extended Brady one more year to help with the salary cap. And like I said, this is them knowing there's a short window. The next year or two, it's all they have left, especially with Tom. So Tom, let's get into Tom. His stats for regular season: 230 wins, 69 losses. I just had to add that in there. He struggled last year. Yeah. How you doing? So last year, he threw 12 interceptions, which is not like Tom. But he also had 40 passing touchdowns, which I believe tied his high. QBs always have a higher turnover rate with Bruce Arians their first year. I don't expect that for the next year in general. The debate in general is between Tom and Bruce Arians, that is, who is really calling those offensive plays in the huddle. Did they actually give Tom, the ability to make his own calls? Might make more sense. Maybe one or the other happened because Tom started picking up a lot more later on in the year. But he was also getting used to his team and so on. There wasn't OTAs or anything. It was all online, all Zoom meetings, as we all know about. So he struggled last year versus New Orleans, which I think he threw 3 or 4 picks, which is just unheard of for Tom Brady. He also struggled versus Chicago, Green Bay, the Rams, Carolina. So they all had tough defenses. So that's somewhat to be expected. I think there was New Orleans was week 10, I believe. And that was, just a crap game. We all thought that was going to be one of the best games to watch, Breeze versus Brady. He had over 600 passing attempts last year, 400 completed. That could definitely go up, if they get to keep Chris Godwin. He was hurt last year, so you could all see this going up. And they didn't have Brown last year for the majority of the year. So with Brown, Godwin, Evans, Gronk, that's awesome. So we could see 700 pass attempts easily. The O-line looks to improve, but still needs improvement. They allowed 22 sacks last year. The year before, they had 47 in 2019. So they're doing better. But, Tom gets rid of that ball fast. And that's probably why, that being said, I believe they've gotten better. I'm sure that Tom tells them what he likes and so on. I'm sure they do better around, actual talent. They ranked 3rd last year with 67 catches over 20 yards. They ranked 4th last year with 12 catches over 40 yards. What I'm saying is just like Tom, he's old, still throws deep. That's why he's here. Mike Evans knows all about that. The guy can still throw. 67 catches over 20 yards is real nice. Brady has come out saying he played last year with a torn MCL. He had surgery. Word out right now is that he will be back for the start of the season. Nobody sees a problem with that happening. And then lastly, Alex Guerrero came out today, said he expects Tom Brady to play another 2 more years.
That's it.
For now. If they come up with some new plant protein, he might last another 5 to 6. But that's crazy.
Tom Brady. Right. And what does Tom Brady do after breaking the rules? Deny and subvert. Yeah!
That is awesome.
That's how he stays relevant.
Good stuff.
Speaking of which, I think everybody else was having Zoom meetings. I think Tom was under a lot of heat for meeting with his offensive coordinator, organizing practices. So he had more of an OTA than anybody else in the league.
Does what he wants.
Also, Regs, I think this is a good time for my question. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you in love with Tom Brady? With 1 being the Detroit Lions with Matthew Stafford, and 10 being your wife.
That's a better scale than what I did
Ooh,
at the time.
baby. Yeah, a lot better. Holy
I had more
shit,
time to think about it.
Oh man, I'd marry Tom Brady.
Oh, there you go. 12, TB12.
Yeah. Oh, hey, alrighty then. Not saying I'd do anything. I just want his money. No, I'm just kidding. No, Tom Brady's he's the GOAT. He's the best there's ever been. You know, you see it when he leaves a team after 20 years, goes and kind of does what he wants with Tampa Bay and absolutely demolishes, wins his first Super Bowl with them. You know, you might get another one.
See, you've learned how to deflect like Tom Brady has
Oh,
deflected.
yeah.
Great
He learned
impression.
that from Bill.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Oh, we all know. All righty. Let's jump into the wide receivers. So we'll start off with the number one, Mike Evans. Last 7 years since his rookie season, he's at 1,000 yards. This year would be number 8. Can he do it? I don't think so. The numbers don't add up. Just saying. You know, well, what do you guys say, Mac?
I think he does. I was trying
Yeah.
to trade for him from Ryan in his dynasty league that we're in because I have Tom Brady. If you do not know,
We
and I
know.
would love to stack those points, man. I think he's going to make sure that streak stays alive for Mike Evans. So,
Ryan, you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Mainly because I have him on my dynasty team.
I'm
I'm pretty sure if we look back at those trades, Mac was throwing me like third round picks, future third round picks.
no, I didn't
from,
even.
rookie
I didn't
drafts.
offer you. I asked you. I asked if
Oh,
he was
okay.
still on the block. Jeez.
Hey, if Tom's only there for 2 more years,
Not
that's not a
anymore.
bad trade. And this year, next year. Just
I'm
saying.
in a win now mode.
Alrighty there, Johnny Cakes.
Me too, baby.
No, you're not.
Oh yeah,
Tanked
I'm
last
coming.
year.
I'm coming for you.
You gave
Needless
me
to
Kelsey.
say,
Go ahead.
these
Bruce.
guys.
Go ahead.
No, we gotta lash this out. No, I'm just kidding. Go.
yeah, duke it out. We'll go backyard, do karate. All right. So now me saying that he's not going to have 8 seasons, I feel like this is something Tom Brady would do. He's already done everything else. Why not have this guy be with him in the record books? Anyways, career high for Mike Evans, 13 touchdowns last year, averaged 3 the 3 seasons before.
7.
I'm sorry, 7 touchdowns the 3 seasons before. I think we all see that kind of regressing in general. That's 13 is just astronomical. He did have 109 targets last year, only 70 receptions. They're mostly deep passes, so that's where those 13 touchdowns really come in. Let's get to the most disappointing guy, and that would be Chris Godwin.
Ouch.
I love the guy. I love everything about him as a slot receiver. I had him last year. I took him quite early in a keeper league and didn't do much for me. I still won, by the way. Anyways, so he got hurt. He got hurt, missed 4 games. Really disappointed owners after, the number 2 overall season he had in 2019. He had 7 touchdowns off 65 receptions, 84 targets, 840 yards, which is actually still a really good stat line, but he was just projected for so much more. He did make his value salvaged. He salvaged his value a couple times, but he's still a huge disappointment. After the bye week 13, he only had 4 receptions, 69 points, 5 yards per game. All right, wait for it, round 2. He did average 1
there. My bad.
It's all good, my man. You got that other one, the Tom Brady record
Nice.
on cue. He did average 1 touchdown a game. So if we projected his 12 starts over the entire season, Godwin would have had 78 catches, 1,220 yards, and 9 touchdowns on 112 targets. Give him like 253 fantasy points. I would have ranked him number 11 overall for wide receivers. I think this year he's going 4th round, 3rd round. I think they have that about right. I think that's pretty good value. I don't see the 11 statted out 11 if we statted out his projection last year. It's kind of high. There's a lot of it's a lot of passes, a lot of people to feed there, a lot of mouths, and you just don't know if he's actually going to get those 78 catches. 9 touchdowns.
His ADP is at 44, so yeah, back into the third round, behind Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, but like ahead of Cooper Kupp and DJ Moore. So
Hey,
I would take
good
one of those guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love how like these players like Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp are right next to each other. Evans, Godwin right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Something you don't, it's just surprising. And like I said last, he got franchise tagged, so he will be trying to, make himself look amazing and get a great contract for next year. He's young. He wants that big contract going into the next season. So where do you guys lie on him? Do you think he still has that, a top 11 projection, top 10? Or are we thinking, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, who I'm going to get into, kind of holds him back from that? What do you think, Ryan?
This is tough. Do I think he has the talent to be a top 10 receiver talent? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think he does? No. I think the volume is just not going to be there for him to achieve that. Like, I think he's talented enough. I just don't think he's going to get enough, action, enough targets to get there.
What do you think, Matt?
It's a lot of mouths to feed, but Brady likes him, man. He
does.
Gave him a lot of targets when he was able to, on the field and healthy, even playing with a hurt hand and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to say he gets into the top 12 again this year.
I like it. I think he's a PPR.
Oh, you said top 10? Top 10?
Well, I said 11.
Top 10 might be tough, but yeah, I'd say top 12. Just barely get in there.
Yeah, no, but that's good. That's good to know. Like, we all think that he's probably going to get – he has at least the ability to get around 10, give or take 5 spots. Obviously, more to the negative side than positive side. But still, I think with his catches, and like you said, Tom Brady does like him. He loves throwing to the slot, especially on third down. It's what he does. And obviously, he doesn't – we'll get into the running backs, but he doesn't throw to him. All right.
Could have used him a bunch of times last year too. They really missed him, so
absolutely,
it's kind of obvious. So yeah. Anyway.
Continue. All right. So let's run through these real quick. Antonio Brown. So you suspended half the year last season, so you never really saw the full potential. He didn't get training camp. He joined the team late. After the bye, he averaged 1 touchdown per game, like Godwin. But Brown had 79 yards per game, averaged around 6 receptions per game. In my eyes, I want to say this was Tom Brady telling Bruce Arians, yes, this is why we got him, and kind of like covering his ass. I think Brown's still a great player, but I feel like Tom kind of had to force feed him on a couple plays. Just my thought. ADP for Brown is about 116, back at the end of the 9th. I love this point, Mac. Around Mike Pittman, Michael Gallup, Mike Williams. Way to be different, Mike. I love that.
He's the only one that goes by Mike. The rest are Michael, then Mike. He can't go by Michael.
I love it. All right, so that pretty much ends it for the wide receivers. Let's jump into the running backs, which is a complete shit show. We got running backs, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, and the newly acquired Giovanni Bernard. They also have Keyshawn Vaughn. That's correct.
Vaughn, yeah.
Keyshawn Vaughn. Miss Vaughn. Never mind. The run game ranked 29th in yards, 29th in attempts, and 16th in total touchdowns. I'm going to say that's for the running back rankings.
Yes, it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's horrible. Jones had
29th.
29th. That sounds, that's Tom Brady's way, or at least that's Bruce Arians' way, just throwing the ball as much as he possibly can. Mm-hmm. Jones had 28 receptions, Fournette had 36, with only 1 reception touchdown going to Ronald Jones. Horrible. Splitting the backfield has actually been inconvenient for games altogether. It's a difficult wide receiver room with all these. They're all quite talented. We also see, Leonard Fournette was obviously highly praised, came in. We saw he's a great running back, and Ronald Jones has great hands. Then they bring in Giovanni Bernard, who's kind of like out of his prime, but he's still a great receiving running back. So let's just say, so Ronald Jones did have a stretch of 100 yards rushing through the beginning of the season, but Fournette ended up taking over towards the end with 111, 106, 113 yards. So I guess my question for these running back, this running back room is, I know it might not seem like a lot, but Giovanni Bernard, could he be, the reincarnation of James White with Tom Brady? That relief valve that he always goes to him. Like I said, they do have Keyshawn Vaughn, who could, they also could plug in. But actually both of those guys just waiting for an injury to even come relevant at all?
They didn't even give Vaughn a chance last year when they would sit Fournette and Ronald Jones getting hurt and stuff. So I think they're going to move on from him. He's just a depth piece, and that's why they went for Gio.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Gio, he's 29 right now. First couple seasons, he ranks 12th, 16th, and 16th in his first 3 seasons. Now it's like 40s, 50s. Last year he was in the 30s for ranking. So
and that was without Joe Mixon.
Yeah, and I think he's just going to do enough to be annoying. Like, you're not going to start him unless you're really desperate. Everybody's out on a bye week, and you have to stream him. But it's not like it's going to help you.
Yeah, what if there's an injury? What if there's an injury, though? Does your thoughts change?
If there's an injury, then you're going to go pick him up and stuff, but you're not going to hold him on your bench because you're never going to play him unless you absolutely need to.
Yeah, I guess
both your running backs, sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I guess what I'm saying is, would you, not knowing what he has and somebody gets hurt, would you waste that waiver wire pickup or that, what do you call it, fab on him?
If both of those guys go down,
no,
yeah.
Just one.
Oh, just one? No, I won't take my priority. I mean, it depends on the week. It depends. If he's the hottest guy, well, I mean, he does have a stellar mustache.
I don't play football.
But I'm saying if he's like, if they have like a sweet matchup coming up, then yeah, you probably will. It's all in context. We'll have to get that into our weekly breakdowns each during the season. But yeah, I mean, there will be a time where we're going to have to pick them up. Mm-hmm. I bet there will be because I'm going to eat my words.
Always is. So, Ryan, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I was actually leaning towards what Mac was saying. We're like, all right, if both the guys go down, then I might consider it. But even at that point, you're like, all right, well, if Fournette and Jones go down, they're going to run the ball 12 times, and Brady's going to throw the ball 60 times, and that's going to be their game plan. I like the comparison, Regs. I didn't even think about that as far as James White and how he was utilized and how he was kind of like this clutch, check down, this clutch weapon. I could see him being more like a Rex Burkhead, where his fantasy value isn't really existent. He makes some big plays. He'll score touchdowns here or there. Like Max said, like just annoying enough to kind of take away points and touchdowns from other players who you want those points to go to.
The reason why I brought it up is just because we talked about like how many, like 28 receptions for Jones. Fournette had 36, and Jones only had 1 touchdown. I could just see some of those being kind of taken away and maybe a couple more receiving touchdowns to Giovanni. But who knows? I think like Max said it right. We just got to wait for what the season holds and kind of find out. You don't draft them, but you kind of just keep an eye on them. Anything else on there, guys? Are we good?
Yeah, just real quick. Who you got to take, Jones or Fournette?
I hate you. I'm honestly just staying away from this team in general. I won't draft either of them. If I have to, I'm taking Jones. I think he's the more athletic and just better running back out of the two at this point in time.
I'd agree. He's also got about 3 years youth on Fournette. So
correct.
You can get him in like the 7th round. So yeah, I mean that's not a bad depth piece if you got to go with him and see what shakes out.
I'll take him in the 9th.
Alrighty. Anything else there, Regan?
Moving on up.
All right.
Damn birds.
And of course, we have the Falcons. What's going on with the Falcons, Ryan?
All right, Falcons. By week 6, I feel like I'm living in Groundhog Day or something. Record 4-12, last in the division. So obviously notable fantasy players for the Falcons. Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley are the two biggest names, but you have some other pieces in Mike Davis, Russell Gage, Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst. Key additions, I mean, the two biggest ones, Kyle Pitts being picked 4th overall in the draft, and then Mike Davis also being added to the team and looking like he's going to be their week 1 starter. Kind of a similar storyline to the Saints as far as being cap strapped. Didn't have a lot of room didn't have a lot of money to make moves. And had a couple key departures in center Alex Mack, who was kind of the anchor of that O-line for many years. And of course, Julio Jones going to the Titans is going to hurt this team. It will help individual guys, but it'll hurt the team. So PFN, Pro Football Network, graded the Falcons offseason as an F. I probably agree. Their secondary only got worse. They'll be in a lot of shootouts. So if you're looking for fantasy value, there's plenty of that on this team. If you're looking for the Falcons to win the Super Bowl, then tough luck. So they're one of the most pass-heavy teams in the league. So it's good news for Calvin Ridley. It's good news for Russell Gage. It's good news for Matt Ryan. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. O-line, everywhere you look, they're kind of middle of the pack. And they could lean in either direction, in my opinion. So this could be an O-line that squeaks into the top 12, top 10, or it could be, an O-line who's an injury or two away from being not good. Defense ranked 32nd, last in passing yards against, 30th in passing touchdowns against allowed. And so if you're looking at teams playing the Falcons and you're looking at your receiving core and your quarterbacks, play them. As far as individual players, Matt Ryan, 26 touchdowns, 11 picks, threw for almost 4,600 yards. I think this offense, they were 24th as far as their running back room, 24th in rushing play percentage, 31st in yards per carry, 28th in rush yards per game at 95. Even with Mike Davis, Mike Davis he's not a running back, essentially. Like, he was mostly utilized in the passing game. I think that's what he'll be utilized again. I think he certainly holds a lot of value in the passing game. He had 59 receptions, 379 yards, and 2 touchdowns last year. It looks like they're going to bank on Quadri Olison stepping in as a running back too and being that 3rd and short goal line back. He's, according to the scouting reports, he's a power back. We haven't seen a lot of this guy. I think he had 1 carry last year for 3 yards. So a name that I would keep in the back of your mind for sure. But gosh, who knows?
Like way back there in your mind.
Yeah, keep it way way back where on draft day you're like, oh, what's that Q guy's name? Yeah. So receiving core, Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage. Obviously Ridley had a breakout year last year, 90 receptions, almost 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. That's with Julio Jones competing with him for targets. So I think expect a huge year from Calvin Ridley. So right now, Fantasy Pros has him ranked as the wide receiver number 4 ahead of DeAndre Hopkins and DK Metcalf, and 1 spot behind Stephon Diggs. I think that's a very realistic projection for him, and I would not be surprised if he jumps into the top 3 if he surpasses Stephon Diggs. I really don't. And here's another guy to keep an eye on, and we've talked about him a few times, but Russell Gage. Last year, as the 3rd wide receiver on this team, he had 72 receptions, 786 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He slides into that wide receiver 2 role, and don't expect this offense to change. They have not done anything to suggest that they are changing in any way. First of all, they're going to be playing from behind. Second of all, their O line is suspect. And third, they didn't really replace Todd Gurley with any kind of actual pure running back. So they're going to be passing the ball a hell of a lot. Another name to maybe keep in mind, their 3rd wide receiver is going to be Olamide Zacchaeus. I don't know how I did with that pronunciation, but he's going to be your slot guy.
Zacchaeus,
yeah. and he's not going to be a significant fantasy option. Maybe just keep a lookout on the waiver wire. Russell Gage goes down. Calvin Ridley goes down. He's going to be a guy that's going to be used a lot. So, Mac, I know you like Russell Gage. You got anything to say about him?
I traded for him last year.
Sure
A
did.
little bit pricey, but I was banking on Julio Jones leaving. So I wanted to get him.
Ballsy. Did it pan out for you?
Well, we'll see. I forget who he took with the draft pick
Supposed-
I gave him, but we'll see. Yes, I know. I don't have the sound drip.
Damn it!
I know.
My favorite one.
I know.
Listen, right now Gage is projected. He's the 165th player overall on Fantasy Pros, wide receiver 63, which puts him in the 14th round. Which I use this word and I'll stick by it. That is criminal.
It's disrespectful, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah. All right. But hey, don't raise his ADP because I'll be happy to grab him down that way. Terrible phrasing. I'll take him with one of my later picks down there. All right. So Gage, all right. Although he was on pace for 115 targets after Week 9, his average for the last 7 games after his bye, he had 5 receptions, 58 yards, and only 3 touchdowns in that span. All right. But his average yard per catch is 11 yards. I saw a stat where he has like the most third down conversion, or one of the top third down conversion catches. So if they're going to be covering Pitts and Calvin Ridley and they're going to have to be banking on him on those big plays, yeah, he's definitely worth taking a flyer out. And it's not going to cost you much. You can drop him in the first 3 weeks if he's not panning out. Okay. His ADP, let's see. He's going around the top defenses like the Bucks and the Saints and stuff. So like, if you're going to do that, you could take him there instead and see what you got and take a defense or stream him later. Or players like Marvin Jones and J.D. McKissick. Yeah, it's going to be a steal. Like you said, it's criminal.
Yeah, I think his value is I think he has good value between rounds 10 and 12 personally. Obviously 10 being the higher end, but he's just going to see a lot of volume and he's proven that with enough volume he can produce a bit. So we'll see.
I do have one thing I want to touch on though. You've been saying that you think they're just going to sling the ball over and they're not going to run. But Arthur Smith, the former OC of the Titans, he was a run-heavy offensive coordinator. Yes, he had Derrick Henry, but you don't think he's going to go to what he knows?
No, I think.
I just want to touch on this. Not that I disagree with you. You're going to use your weapons and stuff, but sometimes coaches, they just stick to what they know, and they're going to force it. I feel like he might force that for a bit at the beginning, at least.
I think you game plan with the weapons that you have, and nothing indicates that this team is going to be able to run the ball super effectively. They might try, but I don't know, man. Like Mike Davis,
I'm saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're going to try. You're disrespecting Cordell Patterson over there too.
Oh, sorry,
I just think it's old habits to kick, and that's what he had success with. I think he's gonna continue to try to run the ball.
Just to keep the ball out of the other team's hands, they have to.
Exactly. If your defense sucks, like you got to keep the ball too. So
which they do.
Well, listen, they certainly would only benefit from being more balanced. I could just see a lot of like 2-yard gain, 3-yard gain. Now you have a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. And I think they'd be putting themselves in that position a lot. So we'll see. I mean, again, like you don't really know anything about this Olsen guy. And how many times have you seen random ass dudes like jump in and just produce? So
and destroy
like maybe he's their pure running back.
Man, they're so random.
Yeah, they really just sneak up from behind and really get your attention. So the tight end room, Ricky. Aren't we at the point where nobody listens, right? Didn't we say that?
We are. Yeah.
All right,
we're
cool.
Over an hour and nobody's listening anymore. It's fine.
So we're good.
If you're listening, comment. I wanted to actually know if that's true, because our average is not duration.
That wouldn't make sense.
I'm saying the one outlier The one outlier listening.
Oh god.
Anyway,
Tight ends.
tight end
Oh
room.
man,
Tight ends.
I
Talk
gotta
about
get
me
some
some
weird
more.
text from like one person who is listening.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got
Uh,
Asmed, and then we got the tight ends here. Let's go.
Yeah, the tight end room. Good segue. So rookie Kyle Pitts, who is currently projected as tight end 6 by Fantasy Pros. And Hayden Hurst is the other tight end, who's tight end 29. Hayden Hurst was seen by many as a sleeper last year. Definitely a little underwhelming. His stats are better than I initially thought they would be when I was going back and looking at them. 88 targets, 56 receptions, 571 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He was tight end 11. He was behind Jimmy Graham, but I think a lot of people expected him to kind of jump into the top 5 last year, especially when you're talking about a really weak group of tight ends league wide. So expect his volume to drop off significantly with the addition of Pitts. Pitts is currently ranked 63rd overall in Fantasy Pros, and that puts him in the beginning of the 6th round. So you can assume that Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, Hawkinson, they're all off the board. I know Kyle Pitts is your guy. He's your boy. You talked about him a lot in the early episodes here. So is he worth taking there, or are you waiting?
In general, I think he is worth taking it there. I can honestly tell you in all my mock drafts that I've done, which is a lot these past couple of weeks, I haven't taken him once. It just seems too early with the value that's going around there. I wish I had. I don't know the value, like the players going around that point, but 6th round is just the wide receivers in that spot are just so good. And taking a shot on Pitts, and you've talked about this team, and they're going to be in shootouts. They have, maybe Russell Gage takes away from those catches and so on. They're not going to just get rid of Hurst as well. I just don't think it's a sure thing. So I would kind of fall a little bit on Pitts on the 6th round. What do you want to say, Matt?
Yeah, what platform are you using, Ryan?
Fantasy Pros, and I don't know when the
Fantasy
last
Pros.
time is they updated.
All right. No, I'm looking at Sleeper right now. His ADP is 45th, so beginning on the 4th round, and that's way too high. So that's what I was going off with my stats. So if 6th round, okay.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Mark Andrews isn't listed there. I think I would take Andrews over Pitts.
Not this guy.
He's more of a touchdown dependent tight end, but I mean, if you miss out on the top 3, I would go there. But yeah, I don't know. You rather go Pitts? He's the best catching athlete out of the draft. So
True.
If they use him as a wide receiver, like they use Kelsey, he's gonna do great. But if they keep him as a traditional tight end, like I think with a run first type of coach, it might be a problem.
You really
Sleeper.
blow my mind with this coaching info. I didn't even look into that. I'm the one that did the preview.
You want a fun fact about coaching?
Yeah, hit me.
Do you know the name of their defense coordinator?
No.
Dean Pees. Pees. All right, I guess I'm the only one who finds that funny.
I just want to say on this, Sleeper, not a sponsor, would love you to be one.
Nope.
I've been doing a lot of my mock drafts on Sleeper, and I think that's what I saw was him in the 4th round. And 6th round actually sounds a lot better. So that's my fault.
Fine. But people are going to buy the hype, so I don't think he's going to be there in the 6th round.
Yeah, Sleeper might be ahead of the game, just calling it out.
Yeah.
So 4th round is way too early for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right.
Yeah.
So let's go off of those stats there, Regan. What do you got? 4th round too early for you?
Correct. Definitely.
Right. Yeah, because you got guys like Godwin there, Kyler Murray, Amari Cooper, Travis Etienne, Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore, Mark Andrews, Robert Woods, Russell Wilson.
I like Pitts a lot more than Mark Andrews.
Okay. I can see that, especially in PPR. I can see that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, catches wise.
Mac, I really like this this note you made about Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
You want to share that?
Oh, sure. All right. So if he's being drafted, all right, we're going to go off the sleeper rankings here. All right, at 45th, fourth round. Rookie tight end record holder is Evan Ingram. What year was that? 2012. Maybe that's 2015. I can't remember. Anyway, rookie year, all right. 115 targets, 64 receptions, 722 yards with 6 touchdowns, all right? So that's a total of 177 total PPR points. Last year, Logan Thomas, his ADP right now is at 113. All right, he had 110 targets, 72 receptions, 670 yards, 6 touchdowns. 176 total PPR points. You can get him in the 9th round. So if you're assuming that Pitts is going to break the rookie record for a tight end, then it's going to pay off. But if you don't think he's going to do that, you're better off waiting and not reaching. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Banking on records is probably not the best way to draft.
You can't all get lucky, like drafting Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped him.
And you dropped him.
All right, with that said, that's all I got, fellas.
Good, finally.
Yeah. Did want to touch on Matt Ryan a bit more. I think his time's done. Without Julio Jones, he scores an average of 5 points less per game. Is Kyle Pitts going to fill in Julio Jones' role? Calvin Ridley, are they going to pick up those 5 extra points? I don't see it happening, but I could be wrong. I think he's going to be more of a streaming option this year. But
it's all banked on that run game. If they
can get anything from it, yeah.
I think we'll know early in the season if they start leaning more towards the run and trying to keep the ball out of the defense's hands, or if they're just playing their own game and they're playing shootout football every single week. I think then there'll be some great value in all these players. But we'll find out.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah.
Thanks for your tips.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Well, thank you, Ryan, for breaking that down. And before we get to the leftovers, we just want to thank you guys all real quick for sticking with us, watching us, listening to us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google, and Amazon podcasts. Just follow us on our socials at Just the Tip FFP. Like, comment on the videos, on our posts, slide into our DMs there, or you can send us an email at justthetipffpodcast. Or you can tie a little note to a falcon leg and send it over to Ryan, and he'll probably kill it. I couldn't get to that, damn it.
Oh my God.
And as always, thank you for taking our tips and sharing our tips with your friends. All right. Who wants to go first with the leftovers? Regan, you got anything?
Fucking birds.
No, I got nothing today.
You got
I had a cramp in the middle of the draft. 31's hitting me hard.
Next. I'm excited, man.
I got something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna shift the conversation from birds.
Oh, thank God.
And
I'm sure this is gonna be good.
let's talk about some fish. So I found out this week that ketchup was actually originally made out of fish paste, or it was fish paste.
Mm.
And Haynes had a surplus of tomatoes, so they started putting the tomatoes into the fish paste, and then over time the fish paste was reduced from the recipe. Hence ketchup.
That's a really big Snapple cap to read that.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, next week I expect a segment on fish-related team names, questions,
Dolphins.
etc.
Dolphins don't even count. They're mammals.
You wanna? All right, we'll do a quiz on ketchup and fish. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, my leftover real quick. I meant to shout out last week. Caleb Worster. All right, my oldest brother Caleb married into the family. This kid Caleb Worster, same name, yes. Drafted by the Marlins in the 15th round, a closer from UConn. So congratulations to him, man. Keep working hard. Great stuff. Fun fact: he was in high school, and I hit a home run off of him. So I was like, 26 at the time, and he pitched to me, and I hit a home run off of him. So I hit a home run off a professional baseball pitcher.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
Was it Wii?
Was it wiffle
happened.
ball?
No.
It was Nintendo Wii. It definitely was.
A real ball.
Did he throw it underhand?
It was an official high school baseball field. And I
Were
crushed
you
it into the trees.
Corked
doing
bat?
soft toss?
It was
Soft
not a
pitch?
corked bat. It was not softball.
It was slow pitch. I think we all just figured it out.
It was real
We got it
pitching.
together.
He's a real pitcher. I hit a home run off him. But thank you guys for being
Fast.
here.
Did he throw?
Shut up. Thank you to producer Kyle doing all the behind the scenes work for us. We appreciate it.
Keep it behind the scenes.
Regan, next time have a freaking leftover so we have something to talk about with you.
Oh, shots fired. We did talk about his cramp for like 10 minutes,
We did.
so
talk
that
about
should
this,
count.
man. Regan,
Yeah,
you're the
nothing.
type of guy that brings your leftovers from a restaurant and leaves them in the back seat, aren't you?
I don't take leftovers. I eat them all. I'm not a quitter. That's literally how I live my life. Then I eat my wife's the next day. It's awesome. I've thought it out.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, usually if I'm taking leftovers home, they don't really make the ride. So
I don't
It
like
happens.
to eat and drive.
I don't know. Depends if Ryan's mom's in the front seat or not.
There it is.
I actually have
Say hi
eight,
to her for me.
I actually have 8 chicken wings downstairs that Ryan personally pulled off the chickens for me. So thanks, Ryan, again for that. I appreciate that. They're delicious.
Those actually Robin wings.
You guys ever see Major League with Serrano?
Oh, yeah.
Sacrifice a chicken?
Oh yeah.
So,
Maybe that's
that
something
was
I gotta
you?
look into now. Yeah. I
so
gotta look
Ryan,
into it.
do you cut off the bird's head or do you take the knife, stick it in the eye, poke it out so the feathers get loose? What's your strategy?
Is that,
No, come on. Are we done now? Are we done?
Oh yeah, we're done. That's been out. We're good.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm done recording. And
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.